I think the next level is the bubble level. If I no, it's not. We're back. We're still in prehistoric caveman times. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but I always lead with Olaf because he has the shield. Eric is more of a, is it clear? Okay, let's go get him. Yeah, I thought there was a... What's up here? Ah, not him. Turn around, guys. Nope. Sorry, Olaf. Okay. We're gonna get him. Get the caveman. Get caveman. Get caveman. Olaf, since you are down one, you go ahead and get the shield. You go ahead and use it. Okay. Now we're gonna take you down here. Oh wait, no, we need to go up here first. I think we got... No, we did not get everything up here. I think that's going to be a floater. Not that kind of floater. What game does the password for levels originate from? What game? Oh, the passwords in the levels come from everywhere. I mean, we had so many of them. Some of them were funny. Same thing with cheat codes and stuff like that in like World of War or in Warcraft and stuff like that, you know, which we use for testing and things like that. So like I believe that one of the ones that was in Warcraft 1 was there could be only one, which gave you God mode. That one was fun. Okay, that right? Yeah. He's gonna knock those down so that they can... Yeah. Beep. Okay. I think we need to go back here first, because there's some underground caveman that needs to be dealt with. Baylog, come to me. Yeah, the funny part about like even laying out all these levels was being able to make it look random without making it with very few actual different tiles. So even the rock formations here, they look like they're pretty random, but it's very few actual new pieces. I don't think you can run through that. Can you play this game with 3 players? I think you could. I don't remember. I know you could play with 2 because I remember that there was a lady that wrote us that said she was very happy that we made this game because it was a game that her sons could play together and they had to cooperate with each other to actually play it. Because as you're playing each of the characters, obviously you can't get through this game with just one of the characters. You need all of them. And oh, this one's gonna be tough. So yeah, I bet Blizzard had tons of unreleased small and large side projects. I've said before that my favorite game that was never released was Warcraft Adventures. I really liked it. It was just, I really liked adventure games at the time, and it was just fun. And the fact that Clancy Brown from Highlander fame and Carnival fame was the voice for Thrall was great because his voice worked so well with it, you know, but it worked well with it because Metzen was the original Thrall and had the same kind of voice. And Metzen, I believe, is still Thrall to this day. But that was cool, and all of the orcs in the adventure game were the voices of the original Transformers, and that was fun too. So you would hear Optimus Prime as an orc and all the other guys as orcs. It was It was really cool stuff. Wow. Why am I not? What the hell? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, but my Nintendo controller power is not as good as it used to be. Okay, drop down. Okay, well, let's get him down here. And then get him down here. Ah! Run, Olaf, run! Eat your tomato. Thank you. Let's go with Olaf. Okay, yeah, we're good. More free stuff. Not sure if it was asked before, but did you directly work on WoW? We all worked on WoW. That's one point or another. Everybody at Blizzard worked on WoW. It was not a tiny game. Also did the editing for the cinematics for WoW and stuff like that. Also did the Wrathgate in-game piece. My team did that. My Machinima team did that. Gave suggestions on things, events, and things like that, as always, because Blizzard was really good at the time of taking ideas from everywhere, and everybody's voice was heard. May not have always been agreed with, but it was always heard, so that was always fun. Yeah, so there's a lot of good things going on. What's the favorite cinematic you worked on? Okay, what is the favorite cinematic I worked on? I think I'm trying to remember the one that stands out in my mind, and it's really old. It's from Warcraft 2. It's the Warcraft 2 intro, and the reason it's my favorite was oh wow, we're gonna get in big trouble there. The reason it's my favorite is because there's two of them. There are two versions of that cinematic. There's the one that was in the original game, and then there is the one that's in the Battle Chest version. And what had happened was when we made the original, I had a 386, and all the 3D stuff was done on that 386, and it took forever to render, and they were tiny. They weren't rendered in high res like they are now, like they were later, but the original Warcraft ones were 320 by 240 in size, and we rendered all the frames out and then put them together and then animated them. I think is FLCs, I believe is what they were. You know, but when it came time to do the intro for Warcraft 2 for the Battle Chest edition, they bought me a 486 with a P90 processor, which was the fastest computer I'd ever seen at that time, which is not even close to what we have now. I mean, it's like my watch compared to my computer now. But I had this idea of the one thing that always bothered me about the intro was when the camera comes up over the wall of the castle and you see the orc armada coming in the ships, it always seemed very light to me for those ships. So I was re-rendering the intro at 480 by whatever it was. I was re-rendering the intro in a higher resolution. So I had bumped up all the texture maps. I did everything, fixed everything, run through, and I put a test together to see how long it was going to take to render, because we were looking literally at 10 hours a frame on the 386s for the original. So I'm like, I wasn't expecting any big thing, but I needed to do a test so I could figure out how much time it was going to take to render everything. So I put the test in, and I queued up in 3D Studio, not the later one, but the original one. I queued up all of the cinematics just to do a test, and I went to lunch, and I came back, and all of them were done. And I'm like, oh my God, all that rendered in an hour, all those frames at the higher resolution. So then that got me thinking, it's like, okay, what would I fix if I had the chance to fix something, since I had time now? Because I had a couple of weeks to do this. And my first test was like, this is going to be easy to render. So what I did was I looked at that armada coming in from the boats. And I said to myself, I go, I really want it to feel like there's an armada, a real, like they're coming in massive forces. So what I did was I went back to 3D Studio and I copied all the boats and the Zeppelins and everything. I made a simple, and I put them in there 6 times. So in the Battle Chest edition, when you come up over the wall, there's 6 times more boats, Zeppelins, orcs coming at you, you know, and never told anybody, just changed it, you know, got put in. And my understanding was that one time, like a week or so later, Alan and Ron were in Alan's office and they're looking at the cinematics, and Alan goes, there's more boats in there. And Ron goes, there's no boats in there. There's no more boats in there. Who would put more boats in there? And he goes, Joy Ray would. And he walked out of his office because my desk was outside his office. He goes, more boats? I go, yeah, more boats. He goes, okay. But that's always made that particular cinematic very special to me, because I put more boats in and it looked really a lot cooler. It actually looked threatening. So, yeah, I did. How did you make art for the game? Was it just with the computer and mouse? Yeah, most of the art for all the games were done with computer and mouse. I mean, there were concept arts and drawings and stuff like that Sam and them would do, because they were amazing artists. And then those would be handed off to a modeler who would build them in 3D. And then that would be handed to the texture mapist who would make all the armor and all that other stuff. So yeah, computers were mostly used for everything. We didn't put hand-drawn stuff into anything but the website and showing off and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully I answered the question on the cinematic. How long would it take to do that? Let's say you make one breastplate. Well, it depends on how good you are at building 3D models. If it's just for like a small game and stuff like that, you have one artist that does it all. You know, they build the model, they texture map it, they render it out, or they hand it to you. You can then do conversions to Unity or whatever. It depends on what modeling program you're using. Yeah, it's one person can do that. I remember when Blender was new, back when it was attached quite a bit to the Amiga, way back when, but I haven't used Blender in forever. I usually use what used to be 3D Studio. I believe it's called Miro now, or Miro something else. It's called something else now, but I haven't built any 3D models in a long time. I've heard that nowadays you do a full cinematic and then throw it away afterwards. So next time you'd have... No, I mean, I'm going to try to interpret this correctly. So, yes, when you build a model, you have that model forever. You know, just because you throw the cinematic idea away or stuff like that, you still have those models. You still have those texture maps, and you can use them anywhere. You can use them background characters. You can use them later for other things, or you can use them for bases for new modelers and stuff to upgrade and make better. You know. I don't know anybody that throws a full cinematic away, unless they're throwing it away from a game that got canceled. But I don't think people build full cinematics just to throw them away, just to keep the models. But it depends on how much time is between the model you built for that cinematic and the model you need for the cinematic you're working on. Then, because most of the time you've learned so much between the two that most artists would say, I'm remodeling this, I don't care, I'm going to start from scratch on this. And usually they'll get together with concept artists and draw something up first and go from there. become incredibly good. I have not done any 3D modeling in years. You know, most of the stuff I'm doing is more people management and stuff like that. Yes, there are many Easter eggs and cinematics that people have never found. And I'll say one, I believe it's in, I think it's in the World of Warcraft intro. No, Warcraft 3 intro. And in the Warcraft 3 intro, if you're, I believe it's the Warcraft 3 intro. And see, now I'm going to have to look. If you're very quick, not very quick, but if you're very observant, you will see the Millennium Falcon in the Warcraft 3 intro. And I believe that Nick Carpenter put that in there. But it's very prominent, and most people don't recognize it, but it is there. But I think that one was a Nick Carpenter addition. Let me look on YouTube and see real quick. We'll get back to the Vikings here in a second. Let me see if I got the right one. Oh, there's the War 2 intro. That's the one I was just talking about. Warcraft 3 intro. Where are you at? Bum, 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 bum. It's funny. I put Warcraft 3. Oh, that's because I put Warcraft 2 intro. Because I'm dumbass. My finger don't stutter. Yeah, let me look here. Doop, 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 doop. Come on, where you at? Pretty sure this is the right one. Yes. If you go to the Warcraft 3 intro at 1 minute 46 seconds, you will see the Millennium Falcon. I am doing fine. Okay, back to our Vikings here. Are you guys holding up okay? I'm having a terrible time. Not me. I haven't even got to clobber so many. Not me. I haven't even got to clobber so many cool monsters. That's not even English.